Hey everybody, how's it going? So, man, again, same thing last night. I always try doing my review that night and everything and doing these discussions because I am a night person. Like, I'm up very late. And especially this whole week that I'm up here, upstate and stuff with my daughter and everything because I have to wait for her to go to bed and everything and then try watching these movies. And me and my dad we're putting up a zip line for my daughter and everything, and man, I was bit to shit by mosquitoes and everything yesterday, and I was so tired that I laid down again the same thing as yesterday. I laid down, I was getting ready to watch this, and then like fell asleep like halfway through. I woke up at like 8 in the morning or something. I said, shit, man. So now I guess I'm just gonna be doing these like in like the late morning or so, which is fine, whatever, it don't matter. But we're talking Castle Freak from 1995, directed by the amazing Stuart Gordon and starring if you've seen my channel, you know how much I love Jeffrey Combs. And he is absolutely brilliant in this, like everything else he does. And we have the goddess Barbara Crampton, and just having them together again on screen after From Beyond and Reanimator, and Stuart Gordon directing, just like for those two and stuff, is so good. When I first saw this, just to see them all together again, like just the way that Crampton and Combs, their chemistry on screen is just always phenomenal. It really is. But I first saw this movie when I was young, man. When I was maybe like 13, maybe like something around there. Because my dad used to collect, like, and he's not a horror fan at all, like, but he used to collect like all different types of like toys and collectibles and stuff like that. And anyone who's seen any of my reviews, basically, that are not in this fucking room, which is rare, but you can see if you can tear your eyes away from this gorgeous face, you know, according to all surveys and studies and statistics that I just made up just now. You'll see in the background that I have a Castle Freak figurine, which is awesome. I love that thing. And I wish I was back home doing this. That way I can just like prop his ass up like right here, like right in front of the camera, and just have him there the whole time. What an awesome looking monster, dude. Or monstrous dude, I guess, in this whole situation. But yeah, let's dive into Castle Freak. That opening scene with the Duchess and everything, and whipping Giorgio and everything, and leaving him like the most bare minimum amount of food ever. But that like whole whipping scene and stuff, like it sets the tone so well for this movie. Like just her walking through the castle and everything, and the setting of the castle in this movie is awesome. Like there's so many gothic vibes from this. Like the lighting in this movie is excellent. It's so well done. Like just everything, like with the windows and the light coming in and the thunderstorms and lightning and everything, and how it lights up the dark hallways of the castle throughout the movie, and like especially in the end and stuff when the freak is like, you know, trying to get Susan and the daughter and everything. Like everything with the lighting in this movie is so well done. And this was a very low budget movie. I mean, yeah, this is Full Moon Pictures and stuff, but I mean, they're notorious for they're so bad, they're great movies and stuff. But I feel like this movie and like Subspecies and I mean, even the original Puppet Master is much more like feels more low budget, and just the acting and everything is nowhere near this movie and stuff, but it's still like one of the classic Full Moon movies. But this is my favorite Full Moon picture, like without a doubt. Like just the fact of Stuart Gordon directing and having Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton in it, that alone makes this my favorite Full Moon picture. But and then the Duchess dies, and we don't. I don't know. She just like collapses on the bed. So maybe it's just too much exertion from whipping this poor fucking thing for so many years and everything. And the score in this movie too is great. Like I'm pretty sure it's by Charles Band's brother. I'm right on that, right? I'm pretty sure. pretty sure it's his brother doing the score for this. And it sounds great. Like, it's very well implemented throughout the film. Like, it really helps add to that, the whole atmosphere and just creepiness of this fucking castle that they're in, with this freak just stalking them throughout the castle and everything. It's a great premise for a movie. Like, it is. I mean, it's been done and stuff, you know, something's inside the house and stuff. But just the way that, I don't know, it just works so well for me and stuff. And I remember reading years ago that Gordon went into Ban's office and saw a poster for this movie, but it was just like a freak and stuff like that, in front of a castle or something, and like that was the only ideas that Ban had for the movie. And then he said to Gordon, he's like, if you want to take this on and do it however you want, low budget, as long as you keep, you know, the setting of a castle and it has to have a freak in it. And Gordon's like, all right, like, I can do that. And man, he did such a great job with this movie. But everything, like I said, like the atmosphere is great. Just because of the whole setting of the castle, and the lighting is excellent. So good. Like, you would not think this is like, especially like after, because this was early on in Full Moon's, you know, like when they were not in their infancy, but like early on in that company's, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't find the word right now. It's fucking early. But yeah, like this was like an early film for them. And knowing what came after and everything, all the Full Moon pictures after this, you would not think this is a Full Moon picture, like watching this. Like, just everything is so much higher and like so much better, like well done than 90% of every other Full Moon picture. And I attribute that immensely to Stuart Gordon and his directing and everything. And obviously the performances by Combs and Crampton and everything. But so we have John, Susan, and Rebecca Riley move into this 12th century Italian castle, which belonged to the Duchess that John inherited. And he's just like, I can't believe I inherited a castle and stuff like. But you don't look into this like at all. Like, like we find out later and everything that he's the son of the Duchess and stuff. And after the Duchess married his father and everything, a soldier and stuff, American soldier, before he left her with the sister, and that's who John always thought were his parents and everything like that. But like, he didn't look into any of that. Like, he didn't find any of that out. He just like accepted right up front, like, oh shit, like I'm inheriting a castle. Like, with no questions asked or anything, like no background into it. Like, why would I inherit this Duchess's castle? Like, this nobility? Like, and like, really? Come on, like, that's a little ridiculous. This whole movie is absolutely ridiculous. Like, none of this makes sense at all, and I'll get to that, but it doesn't matter. Like, this movie is awesome. What a fun watch. Like, this movie's always been such a fun watch. But getting back to what I was saying earlier, so like, yeah, when I first saw this movie when I was young, man, this movie fucking disturbed the shit out of me. Like, it really did. And I was saying, like, I knew about this movie just because my dad had a Castle Freak figurine, which became mine and stuff. I jacked that shit from him when I was right after I saw this movie, basically. I fucking went in the garage that he used to like have all his collectibles in and stuff like that. I jacked this shit. I took his Shrieker figurine and all his Puppet Master stuff, because I saw Puppet Master like a few years before that. And I just jacked all of them. And they are now mine to this day. But this movie disturbed the shit out of me just for some of the things that happened in this movie. And he's such an effective creature. You know, Giorgio and everything, like the way that the makeup on him, just the whole design of him, and the way that he walks, and everything about the creature in this movie is so well done. It looks so cool. Like, he looks disturbing. He looks so malnourished and everything, as he should be. But it's still ridiculous, as I said, I'll get into. But this movie fucking disturbed me, man. Like, it really did when I was younger. But, the whole tear in like John and Susan's relationship because of, John being an alcoholic or at the beginning of this recovering alcoholic and being responsible for the death of their son and for the blindness of their daughter because he was driving the car and everything drunk. And, truck came and stuff, so he had to swerve out of the way, crashed into a tree, and ended up blinding his daughter and killing their 5-year-old son. I'm pretty sure it's 5 years old, right? Because comes into play later when he sees, when he finds out that Giorgio was 5 when he supposedly died and everything, and then seeing the picture of him and everything, like by his, the crypt for him and everything. So JJ was 5, right? I'm pretty sure. I forgot to write that down, but pretty sure he was 5. But that whole tear in their relationship, and him cheating on her and everything, and like her just being so estranged from him and not able to forgive him and stuff, is so well implemented. Like it's such a great little side plot to have, and which like leads to, like the suspicion being cast on John later in the movie and everything for him being responsible for all the crazy shit that happens. Just so cool. And just the way that the way that Crampton and Combs just act together, man, and just play off each other. Like it's unreal. Like everything that they are in together is just the way that their chemistry and the way that they just keep going back and forth on each other and the way that their dialogue and like just everything is brilliant with them always. Like it's probably one of my favorite like 2 people on screen at the same time. Like I'd have to think about that, but like it's definitely up there. Like I mean, Jeffrey Combs is one of my favorite actors of all time, which I've said so many times talking about whatever movie he's in that I've covered so far, Reanimator and Would You Rather and everything. Like I gotta do From Beyond like real soon because I've been in a huge Combs mood like the past few weeks. But anything with them on screen together I love it. It's so good. And the whole Becca being blind and stuff angle for this works great. Like just having a blind, young woman as part of this family and not being able to see anything, but she hears everything. She's the first person to know that there's somebody else in this castle. And the mom just does not believe her, which is, come on, like you don't believe your blind daughter, or even if she wasn't blind at all, like your daughter, you're not going to believe her at all that there's somebody else in this house when she's like adamantly saying, like there was someone in my room. Like there's somebody else in this castle. Really? Like you're not going to believe her? At least like look around. Like I would take John and be like, we're going on a search party through all 150 rooms of this house, which we find out from the cop there's 150 rooms in there. Dude, this place is huge. Like what a big fucking castle, man. And then shit, how do you even pronounce her name again? Agnesis or something like that. Agnesis. Who the fuck knows? The Italian woman who's the maid and stuff who stays at the castle, and her whole story that she tells and stuff, and tells John about the history with the Duchess and everything, and that she had a 5-year-old son. Well, she had a son, and Giorgio, and he died when he was 5 and everything, and that people say that they can hear voices like a child crying in the castle and everything, and that it's supposedly haunted. Like that whole scene's so cool. Like she does a great job too. Yeah, the Italian actress who plays Agnes, whatever the fuck her name is. But she does a great job. Like she comes off very, I don't know, she just has like a vibe to her, like a eerie fucking vibe to her. I mean, like somebody will just point out, like, she's just a fucking Italian woman, dude. Yeah, but she's fucking creepy in this movie, dude. She really is. The freak breaking off his thumb and escaping, and that whole thing with the cat and stuff like that, like that's such a great shot. Like before he escapes, like when Becca's following the cat around and everything, and we see the cat in the room with the freak, and then he tries jumping out the little food door and stuff, and like we just see him get grabbed and stuff and just pulled right back in. That's such a great shot. That's so cool. And he ends up eating this cat and everything, which that Castle Freak figurine from back in the day that I have has the dead little cat prop with him, which is so cool. And him escaping after breaking his thumb off and everything like that, and then seeing his reflection and breaking the mirror and everything like this. For people who don't know, I'm sure everyone does. Like, this is based off, like, loosely adapted from an H.P. Lovecraft, like 2 H.P. Lovecraft stories of what the fuck? The Outsider is one of them. I know that. And the Dunwich Horror. That's it. That's what it is. But The Outsider and stuff is all about this guy who doesn't know, like, where he came from or anything like that, and like or has any real memories or anything about his life, and just like goes out and like people start like recoiling in horror every time they see him and everything. He doesn't know why, and then like near the end, like he sees his reflection and everything and sees how deformed he looks and everything like that. So I mean, that whole scene with the mirror and stuff like that is straight up just right out of that, like straight up Lovecraft, which I love Lovecraft. So, and so does fucking Gordon, and so does Combs. Like, so many of Gordon's movies are based off Lovecraft, or like all his great ones, like From Beyond, Reanimator, this movie, all based on Lovecraft, which is awesome. And Becca sleeping and with the freak coming in and like pulling the sheets down and like just like almost petting her and stuff and not touching her. Then she wakes up and like knows that he's in there and everything. What a great scene. Really cool. And she screams and stuff. John is there in that room like hugging his daughter so fucking fast. Like immediately, like as soon as she screams and stuff, like he bursts through the door. Like he must be the lightest sleeper ever. But like that would be me too. Like if I heard my daughter screaming like that, I don't care if there's 6 flights of stairs. Like I would be up those stairs so fast, I'd become the Flash, and I would be there immediately. So it's just cool seeing like that, like seeing how fast after hearing his daughter screaming, that John is just instantly there, fucking like no hesitation, like just primal instinct of like, that's my child screaming and I have to get to her now. Like, so well done. And like I said, we have the picture of Giorgio looking exactly like JJ, like their son who died and everything. And again, like Holmes and Crampton's whole argument in that scene of, you know, her saying she can't forgive him and everything, and that their son is dead and Rebecca's blind because of him, and him being a drunk. He was driving that car. He was driving a drunk. He killed their son. He blinded Becca and everything. And they're just the whole scene of them going back and forth and arguing about that, and it's brilliant. Like, so fucking good, man. I love the shot of John on the roof of the castle, like after that argument, like where you think he's gonna like fucking kill himself or something, and he goes to the roof and he's right on the ledge, and then the camera just pans back quickly and stuff. Like, that's such a cool shot. I really love that shot. Really, really good. Then we have John drunk at the bar after all that, because I mean, yeah, man, I don't blame him. Like, you know, as an addict that he is and stuff like that, after hearing all that from your wife and stuff, saying like she wishes that he was the one who died in the accident and everything like that, you're gonna need a drink, you know, like a few drinks, like a lot of drinks, like a whole bunch of drinks, which you really see him doing. Like, he killed the whole bottle of fucking whiskey, and they're like closing it down and stuff. But I get very, very strong Shining vibes from that, just like of him after hearing all that and stuff and that argument and everything, and him just cracking. And a lot of it does have to do with like the setting and like the castle and everything like that, and his daughter claiming that someone's in there and everything, and just like obviously nowhere near like what happens at this point in The Shining and stuff that leads, you know, Jack to really crack after like hearing and seeing ghosts and shit like that and everything that happens to him. But it's tiny little Shining-esque things in that scene of him drinking and stuff, how just after all that and stuff, he's just getting plastered and stuff just to deal with it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but definitely some Shining vibes in there for sure. And we have the prostitute and stuff that comes back, that comes up to him and stuff and comes back with him to the house. And that whole scene is so creepy, man. With him, the freak with the sheet on him, which is a nice little touch, like a nice way of concealing 100% what he looks like, and definitely like concealing his face and everything for like the reveal later and stuff of what he actually looks like under there. Really cool touch with that sheet. And yeah, that whole scene of them just having sex and him going down on her and everything, and then fucking her and like lasting a minute, like she said, minuto, and and then puts her hand out for money, and like he's like, yeah, he's just like 3 sheets to the wind, but like he doesn't know she's a prostitute like immediately. Like she puts her hand out for money, and like he's like, what? Like twice or something. He says, what? It's like, you don't know she's a prostitute. Like you think like she just came back with you, like just to come back with you and fuck you. Like that's a little weird. Like, and then he says, like, of course, and starts taking his money out and everything, and he's like immediately guilty and everything. But like I said, like he didn't just like have his money out as soon as he finished, like ready to pay this prostitute. Like that's fucking stupid, man. and the freak's watching this whole time while they're fucking and everything, and like this fucking creature, man, is so sex deprived that. Well, like you would think like food would be his like primary thing. Like he would just be like, I need to eat like a fucking 7-course meal after all this starvation and stuff that I've gone through. But no, sex is that primal instinct, like that takes over food apparently for this thing. Like like he'd rather be eating pussy than eating fucking like a nice ass steak or fucking some lobster tail or something. Like a big ass bowl of pasta, like, and they're in Italy. They love that shit. So do I. Fucking, like, come on, like he's really like that sex deprived, and like, I'll save this mostly for the end. But like, how long has he been in there? Like, he's grown and stuff. Like when the Duchess dies after whipping him and stuff. But how long did she have him locked up in there? Since he was 5 years old, and that's why the whole story of him dying at 5 is the official, unofficial story and everything in the town and like the history of it, that he was 5 years old. Like, so has he been locked down there in the castle since he was 5? I'll dive a little more into that, but yeah, he's a horny fucking freak, dude. And that whole scene with him biting the prostitute's nipple off and everything like that, awesome. That is so well done. That looks so cool. And then we have the lawyer, fucking him talking to his lawyer, and then the lawyer gets the phone call saying that they found the handbag of the prostitute in the castle and everything, and immediately says we can discuss like our new arrangement and everything, and he's saying like that's blackmail and stuff, and then John just calls him a bastard, and then he lays on him the whole true story about the Duchess marrying John's husband and everything, and then him and having the child Giorgio, and then him leaving the Duchess and the kid and stuff to go off with the sister that John always thought was his mom. That whole story and background and stuff. Then says that their marriage wasn't good, like it wasn't valid or anything, because the Duchess would never divorce John's father. And then the lawyer just saying like, so in fact you are the bastard. Like that's such a funny line, man. That's such a great line. And oh dude, and then the fucking scene with the freak fucking like literally eating the prostitute's pussy. Like dude, that scene fucked me up when I first saw this movie and stuff. And like it reminds me of like now, like I've never been a big fan of this band at all, but like back in the day when I was like getting big into like heavy metal and stuff, and I listened to everything, but like I went through like a metal phase in high school, and like Cannibal Corpse. Anyone who's ever heard of that band or seen their album covers, like they have that album, Tomb of the Mutilated, I think it is. and the cover is just like this like dead woman and stuff like that, and this fucking like skeleton corpse and stuff that's like going down on her with blood and guts everywhere and stuff. Anytime I see this movie, since I was younger and saw that album cover, reminds me of the scene of him just fucking like literally eating her out. Like it's so disturbing, man. Like what a fucking disturbing scene. And then him killing Agni, whatever her name is again, beating her with the fucking chains and everything. Like such a cool scene, such a disturbing scene. Then Susan and the daughter leave him and stuff, and they're gonna stay in a hotel or whatever, but like the cops like try to say that you can't leave until we question the husband and everything. But like she calls him a whipping boy, and then how he deduces just from hearing that and finding the whip under the bed early in the movie and puts everything together right there. That's clever. That's really cool. Of just that hearing the phrase whipping boy is what leads him to figuring out everything that's going on here. That Giorgio never died and stuff, and he goes when the cops are about to arrest him and he's breaking into the crypt and stuff and taking the little coffin out, and there's just rocks inside there, and him saying like he's still alive, like he never died, and if she kept him in the castle, why would she have a whip? Like if she was here all alone for 40 something years, like who's she using it on? Like that whole scene and everything. And then they see the bodies and stuff like that, and dude, that's savage, man. That's fucking gnarly. Like seeing the aftermath and stuff, and both of them there just dead in the room. And then even he says I advise you not to say anything until you talk to your lawyer. And the lawyer, who's the sister, that's his sister, and and the lawyer just turns around and starts beating the shit out of him. That's fucking funny, man. But I mean, of course. I mean, what would you do in that situation? Like, you're gonna believe this whole thing about this 5-year-old kid who's supposed to be dead, and fucking he's actually still alive and been like chained up in here all these years, and he's the one going around killing all these people? No, this obviously looks like John fucking did all of this. Even though like how savage and stuff the murders are and stuff like that. Like with her nipple bitten off and like her pussy's just fucking chomped apart and fucking blood everywhere and all that. Like, if I was a cop, I'd be like, was there really like, what are the chances that this seemingly normal man did something so savage like that? Like, for what? Like, what was the motive? Like, anything like that. I don't know, just me personally, I'd just be like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think this guy fucking did this shit. Like, looking at the carnage in that room, and that's another thing about his Combs in this movie. Like, his performance is so good, and it's totally different from his other performances that he's most notable for. Like, he's plays like a pretty like ordinary guy in this. He's not like a crazy eccentric character like Herbert West, and and him and even Would You Rather that I covered the other day as Mr. Lambrick and stuff, and From Beyond. Like, he has like very eccentric characters, but like he's very toned down that way in this film, and like more grounded in reality, and like more like just like a normal person who has his issues and stuff, and dealing with the grief of killing his son and blinding his daughter and everything. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's a much more emotional role from Combs, and he like always, fucking brilliant performance. And the whole interrogation scene and stuff, and is his acting, man. Like, him just saying and stuff like, I've answered your questions over and over and over again. Like, I just want you guys to go to the castle and get my family out of there. And so then he escapes and knocks the cops out and stuff, and escapes like through that open window, even though it's like a torrential downpour, thunderstorm out and stuff, and these people just have this window wide open like that. Like, I don't know. That was a funny observation. Little observation there. Like, they didn't just shut those windows. Like, no, like anytime that there's a storm or something like that, I make sure all the windows are shut. Of course, probably not everybody, but I don't know. Just stuck out to me. It annoyed me a little bit. I was like, really? These people have the window wide open in a police department? Like when they have suspect there that they're questioning and stuff. Like they don't even consider that he can like just jump out this open window and run away. Like, I don't know. Like I said, this whole movie is ridiculous, but it's so awesome at the same time. It really is. And like, can you? And like the freak when he bites the cop's eye out, awesome. That looks so good. Like, there's not a lot of over the top gore in this movie, but for what we get, it's so good. And that scene is awesome. Of him just ripping the cop's eye out with his teeth and stuff. Like, awesomeness. So great. Like, can you imagine being a blind young woman, a blind girl here in this fucking castle that obviously you can't see anything and stuff, so you don't know what it looks like. You can't get the same vibes and creepiness from it and stuff as someone who could see, obviously. But after hearing somebody in the room with you earlier and just hearing all sounds and stuff like that in this creepy ass castle and knowing that somebody is there with them, and then like being like just in her bra and being fucking taken captive by this freak, that's fucking scary, man. That's really fucking scary. Like, put yourself in her shoes. Like, that's fucking terrifying. That she can't see anything. She can't see who this person is. Like, it could just be a normal looking fucking person to her. She can't see. She has no idea how deformed and fucked up this fucking thing looks. Like, I don't know. That's fucking terrifying. And we see his face for the first time and everything, and oh, what a reveal that is. That's so cool. Like like I said, the creature effects and the design and stuff on him looks so good in this movie. Like, they did such a good job designing the freak for this movie. But his thumb's back on. Yeah, his thumb like reattached somehow. Like, I don't know what scene it starts in, but like the whole scene with him, like with the daughter and stuff, and like about to like molest or rape her or whatever before Susan comes down and like distracts him and everything. Like right there in that scene and stuff, like his thumb is back on. So I don't know if I saw it like before that, but in that scene it's 100%. He has both his thumbs. How did that happen? Like, that's ridiculous. Come on, like. Pay attention to continuity, man. Like I said on the channel here, continuity is a huge thing for me. And anytime I see it broken, it really gets to me. And I'm like, yeah, but his thumb is back. Like, the thumb made the return. Like, I don't know that, but he has two thumbs in that fucking scene and for like most of the rest of the movie. So they just forgot he broke his thumb off, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's so funny. The shot of the freak like bursting out of the window, that's such a cool shot. Like when they're outside and running away and stuff, and he just comes crashing out the window and doesn't somehow just land, and both fucking legs just fucking break immediately, and he falls to the ground because he's so malnourished and hasn't eaten hardly anything for all these years, and that he's in no top physical shape or anything like that, and he should be dead just from that fall alone. Like, come on, really? Like, this fucking thing, like, does not have the fucking strength or anything like that he shows in this movie, like in the end here and stuff. And like, hey, great shot, like I said, but like, he would have immediately just broken his legs and fell to the floor, like, without a doubt. Like, you see how his body is, you see the lack of muscle and everything on him from severe starvation and everything. Like, yeah, he's not just landing and then just continuing on. Like, there's no fucking way. Are you serious? Like, they really didn't think of that, like, when they wrote this and filmed that scene, and like nobody came up to them and said, well, like, you know, this guy hasn't really eaten in years and years and years and been held captive in the worst conditions ever, chained up in the fucking castle. Like, I don't think he would like survive this fall or anything, man. Like, you know, like no one brought that up, like, at all. Like, come on. I find that so hard to believe. And a lot of movies and stuff, when there's just a glaring thing that I notice, and I just have to think, like, nobody on set thought of this. I did. Like, and I'm not a filmmaker or anything. So, like, you would think somebody would pick this up or pick this apart, but like, nope. Like, of course, it doesn't matter and stuff, but you know what I do. And just the shots of him on the roof and stuff, like walking towards Susan and Becca and everything, with the thunder and the lightning. And like I said, the lighting in this movie is just excellent. Like I said earlier, it's so good, and makes it, with the rain coming down, like that whole ending sequence and stuff is so awesome. And the way that the freak moves, and just like how he like hunches over, that's my Castle Freak impression. Like just his whole movements and everything, like, actor did such a good job playing him. I forgot his name. I want to say his last name, Fullerton or something like that. I know it starts with an F, his last name. I completely forgot who plays the freak in this, but great job. Like, really good performance. And so this whole breakdown now of the freak. How, like I said earlier, how long has he been down there? He's been down there since 5 years old. Had to have, actually, now that you think about it, because he was supposedly, the kid died when he was 5. So you can't have this kid, like, being around and shit, like, when he's supposed to be dead. So she's been chaining him up since he was 5 years old. And they never say, like, how long takes place, like, after the Duchess dies to them moving into the castle. But it can't be that long, because, I mean, after she dies, they're going to go through records and everything, and they're going to contact John as the inheritor and everything, so it couldn't have been that long. So he's a grown-ass fucking guy in this movie, the freak. So if he's been down there since he was a kid, how do you even know what sex is to be so sexually deprived? Like, yeah, like I said, it's a primal instinct and stuff. Like, it doesn't take much to figure out that putting your dick in something, like, feels good. Like, but, like, that he's so obsessed with sex and stuff like that. Like I said, over food, like water, over all of those other things you need to live. And he's so obsessed with sex and everything, like, especially if he was down there as a kid, since he was a kid, and has no knowledge of the topic at all or anything like that. And like, where did he shit? Where did he piss? Right in the room, I'm guessing, but we don't see like a heaping pile of like decades worth of piss and shit like in the room. And then wouldn't he just die from the smell alone? Like, when like, and it's like, she barely feeds this fucking guy. Like, she gives him like some bread, like that's it. Like the tiniest little portions you can imagine, after beating the fuck out of him. And like, I love his design, like I said, like how his spine is so like fucked up and everything, just from years of being beaten with his cattle whip and stuff. But like, all those beatings after all of these years and everything like that, and he's still alive. Like, he's actually still alive in this castle after everything, and surviving on nothing, like basically nothing. Like I said, it's so fucking ridiculous. Like this, and it's, like I said, it is strength and everything, that he can even put up a fight against anybody, and not just like you touch him and he bursts into powder and fucking falls to the ground. Like, come on, dude, really? Like, none of it makes sense at all when you break it down like that. Like, like I do with all movies, none of it. Like, this is absolutely insane. Like, this thing, there shouldn't even be a movie. Like. They should just have the very beginning, and him getting, like, not even, like, it should just be that we inherited a castle and stuff like that, and then just finding a fucking skeleton in the, like, in the room that he was locked up in, and the end credits. Like, there's no way he's even alive, yet alone has the power or strength or knowledge to do anything else that he does in this movie. Like, not one bit. And then we have John's sacrifice and stuff, and, you know, I guess there were all the extreme guilt and everything of what he's put his family through and everything, and he just decides to fucking sacrifice himself and he pulls his half-brother and stuff, this freak, off the roof, and then they both die, man. And they are fucking down there so fast, Susan and the daughter, like literally 2 seconds after they fall off the roof, or maybe it's not even the roof, but like a lower fucking upper level or something like that. But like, as soon as fucking John and the freak go over the fucking wall and plummet to their fucking death, Susan and Becca are there literally 2 seconds later. Like, as soon as they hit the ground, plop, they're there. How the fuck did they get down there so fast? Like, especially that she has to lead Becca around and stuff because she's blind and she can't see anything, obviously. So she's like, and they went that fast. They got there in 2 fucking seconds. Come on. Like, that's so ridiculous, dude. That's so stupid. It's not even funny how dumb that is. Like, I think even them at the end were like, all right, let's finish this movie up. Like, we don't have time to shoot them like working their way down the castle. Like, they're there. Let's just fucking put them there. Like, there's no fucking way that they made it down there in 2 seconds like that. Like, I counted. Like, it's 2 seconds. Like, that's ridiculous. And then we just get the end, and and them saying goodbye to each other and that they love each other and stuff like that. And yeah, sure, now that he's fucking dying and gonna be dead, now you forgive him. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, this movie, man. And then she just sees the cop at the end with his son and stuff, which he had a kid with the prostitute he found out earlier and everything, and she gives him like a little smile and everything, and credits. Like, I love this movie so much. It's such a fun watch. It really is. And like I said, like, just Combs' performance and Crampton's performances, like, in this movie, excellent. And Gordon's directing, excellent. And excellent lighting. And the creature design and everything. And the setting, like, everything is great about this movie. Like, it's such a great and well-made film for, I think it was like $500,000 budget. Awesome. Like, so well done. But that is Castle Freak. Oh, that's something I want to talk about. I mean, I'll talk about this more if I review it down the line. But I always thought it was interesting. There's spoilers here for the remake from, I think it was 2020. So if anyone doesn't want to hear that, just, click off. But in the remake, I thought it was very interesting how they swapped the backstory around. And it was, like, I forget if their names are even the same in that movie, but like Susan's character or whatever, like, she's the half sister of the freak, and the freak is a female in that movie. So I thought that was very interesting when I saw the remake, how they flipped that and made the freak a girl, a female in that movie, which leads to that disturbing fucking scene with when the husband or whatever is getting fucking raped basically by the fucking because he's like, I forget even what's up with him, if he's like blindfolded or tied to the bed or he's drunk out of his mind or something like that, and then like that whole scene happens. That's some disturbing shit, dude. But yeah, Castle Freak, great movie. And in a little bit I finally pulled the trigger. I will be covering my favorite horror movie of all time, and that shit is going to be long, dude. Let me tell you now. You think 40 minutes on Castle Freak is fucking long? This fucking movie, like, this is gonna be like a 10-hour video. No, it's not, but it's gonna be so hard to talk about my favorite horror film of all time without gushing all over the place and shooting my gush all over the camera at you people and stuff. But if you don't know what it is and haven't watched this channel or seen a review where I bring it up, like what my favorite horror movie is, stick around in a few hours, it'll be up, and you'll see. But I am mad excited for that, to finally be talking. I've been fighting every day since I started the channel to do it, and I finally said fuck it. And because I saw it was added on Amazon, like last night I saw that they added it recently, I said that's it, I have to do it. And finally pulled the trigger on that. So I will see you guys in a bit with my favorite horror movie of all time. All right, see you guys soon.